this is a podcast all about Bears. You either cheering for this team or just pulling your hair. I like to take a minute, just sit right back and tell you how I became the #1 Bears fan.
That boy is Benny Hunter.
Cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic, cake on the mic. People, this the intro. Sacramento, California, born and raised. And Antelope is where I spend most of my days. Talk bad about my team, you must be a clown. This is KIEQ on the mic, so you know you better bear down. Bear down.
Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of KIEQ on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. Before I get this episode started, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the bell notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms, and make sure you share this episode of KIEQ on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. On the line, I have a very angry Bears fan ready to rant, not only to me, but to all of you guys. So welcome to the show. How you doing?
I'm doing as well as anybody could be in the Chicagoland area. I don't know if it's Nagy's fault. I don't know if it's the staff's fault, anybody. But it looked to be an O-line problem. I mean, would it feel to get sacked? I cut out at 6. I think he got sacked 9 times.
9 times, and Myles Garrett had 4.5 of those.
Yeah, I mean, how many interceptions?
No interceptions today. No interceptions for the simple fact that we didn't throw the ball downfield.
Oh, I thought I saw some picks.
Yeah, I think there was an interception that we saw, but it was a pass interference on Cleveland.
Oh, yeah, that ended up downfield. Yeah. We got the penalty. Yeah, I saw a couple hits where, I'm not making excuses for Fields' crappy performance, but one of those slides he took, he got hit right in the noggin.
Yeah.
They call, and I was just really surprised they didn't call that. But I mean, back to the problem at hand. This is a staffing problem. I don't think Nagy has what it takes to lead. He's got a reputation for, I guess, stifling quarterbacks' potential, and we're seeing it here. If we didn't have a defense, this game would have been like a peewee football shutout with the slaughter rule.
Yeah, so obviously, I guess that was going to be my first question to you. Is Matt Nagy the issue here for the Chicago Bears?
I think he's probably about 60 to 70% of it.
So you see more, you don't think it's all on him, but it's most of the blame is on him.
Yeah, like I said earlier, I think they should take the practice squad D-line and sub them all in for the O-line. Because, I mean, that was crap. Especially all the fans out there that played football and that they understand the way the games work, the penalties work. You win some, you lose some with penalties, but we didn't lose that game because of penalties.
No.
There were a lot. I mean, come on. Fields can only scramble so much. I mean, he's a rookie.
Yeah, I guess the concern for not only myself, but a lot of Bears fans is that was the best game plan you can come up with for a guy of Justin Fields' caliber?
Yeah, and then we lose to a poop team with 2 good players.
Yeah.
You got Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham making like half the plays. And then, what's their running back's name? I got to give credit to him. He ran the ball like a hoss.
Yeah, Kareem Hunt is one of them, and then, of course, you have Nick Chubb.
That's one of the problems with the Bears is we're really, really, really missing Tariq Cohen, who obviously he was a running back, but he acted as one of our receivers. So nobody could pick up where he was going. He's such a fast little bugger. And then, he'd break away and then he'd catch a pass here and there. I think he actually had more passing yards than rushing yards.
Yeah.
When he was big.
So as a GM, let's say you were in Ryan Pace's shoes right now. What would you do?
I would make budget cuts. I think we have 2. What do we have? 4 quarterbacks.
I think it's 3. We have Dalton, Fields, and Nick Foles.
Yeah, and then the snap taker. So I think we technically have 4, but yeah, I'd make some budget cuts. We don't need Dalton. I mean, what's he going to do now? Really? And we don't need anybody. The Bears have this tendency of picking up almost washed up quarterbacks that they've passed their peak, they've passed their potential. But, you know, here's another QB with great stats. Like, I'll just give you an example. It's sad when our best quarterback was Jay frickin' Cutler, smoking Jay.
That's true. That's true. You know, and it's,
I mean,
yeah.
If you go back and look at Cutler's stats, he's up there with Donovan McNabb. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how bad, the Bears quarterbacks have been when you mention Jay Cutler. You know, Jay Cutler wasn't terrible, I would say. He wasn't the worst thing I've ever seen. but it's still kind of bad when that is our, pride right now, saying, "Oh, Jay Cutler."
The Bears have always been kind of like the pinnacle of what a defense should be. You know, like stop the run, great pass D. Today we had trouble with the run.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the problem with the defense side of the ball, I think, they were getting to Baker Mayfield. I think we had about 5 to 6 sacks ourselves. The pass rush was excellent. I think our problem on the defensive side of the ball is our tackling. We struggle with tackling.
A lot of arm tackles, yeah.
Yeah, a lot of arm tackles. I think there was a play in the game. I think it was still like 13-6, and it was 3rd and 2. Kareem Hunt broke an arm tackle from Deion Bush and ended up being a touchdown.
Right in the it's terrible when you see like 3-4 guys hit the ball carrier, receiver, whatever, and they don't go down. I mean, that's improper tackling. We have a problem. I mean, I think it needs to be handled at the top by the coaching staff, but I don't think they'll handle it because I think that Nagy operates as like this. He's like a PR guy. He's like a judge that likes his name in the paper.
Yeah. So what do you think is next for the Chicago Bears team? I guess you could say we're going against a bad Lion team, but are they actually bad? They barely lost to the Ravens today.
Well, the whole NFC North lost the first week. We saw a really disappointing performance out of Aaron Rodgers. I never worry about the Lions, but with the way we're playing, yeah, they should be taken pretty seriously because we've got some cracks in our foundation. And I mean, what are we, 1-2?
Yeah, we're 1-2 now, and I'm not looking past this Lions team. I'm not. I don't look past any team. I think the Bears can easily be 1-3 that next upcoming week.
I think that we have a lot of superstars now. And we've signed a lot of talent. It's really hard for somebody to rise up and be in charge when everybody knows how much they're worth. We got this player, $65 million for 5 years. That player, $35 million for 3 years. It's just people are making their money, and at a certain point, I don't think they care about winning. I think they care about staying in the game.
Yeah, that's a good assessment. And I'm curious. Do you want Matt Nagy fired?
I don't know about fired. I'd like to see him demoted.
Demoted. So just give up play calling duties, for example.
Maybe offensive coordinator or whatever it is he does anymore. But I don't think he can be the head coach. He's led us to, I don't know, multiple failures. I mean, there were times in the playoffs going back to 18 season or 19, whatever, where he went for it on fourth plays where we could have kicked a field goal and it would have ended up in overtime or us winning. Yeah. And it's just this cowboy shit. It's just like the announcer says in Madden when you play Madden. Oh, he's going for it on 4th down. You can either be a villain or a hero. And I think that he's shown himself to be the villain of our team. He's holding Fields back. I mean, whoever is in charge of the offensive line core deserves a backhand. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just crazy that you have a guy like Justin Fields, and dude went 6 for 20. 6 for 20 for 68 yards today.
Baker Mayfield had a shit pass completion percentage, but he put up yards and all that stuff. But, I mean, how long is Fields going to be the face if we just wear him to the bone?
True. Yeah. Yeah, and
he's fighting minor injury earlier in the season. He was a great college ball player, but so were some of the other quarterbacks we had, like Rex Grossman. And I mean, it's just sad. The Bears have this, I don't know if it's voodoo or what, but someone's casting a quarterback spell on us.
Where we just can't get it right. And I truly feel that Justin Fields can definitely be that guy. I definitely have the confidence in Justin Fields. I'm not just going to take this one game and roll with it. I think Matt Nagy doesn't need to be the play caller for him. I think, like you said he needs to be demoted. I'm probably going to be more on the side that I think Matt Nagy needs to be fired.
Completely is a lot harder due to the politics of the administration. I doubt he'll ever go away. But I mean, you remember when the Bears were in their heyday, who was the defensive coordinator? Vic Fangio. Where'd he end up? Denver, head coaching. I don't know if he's still there, but Nagy was good because of the people that made him good.
Yep.
There were other people propping the team up. Like I said, we've always been a defense first team, which is fine, but I'm sick of being a third down team.
Yeah, I think Matt Nagy and Ryan Pace, I think they have more time than we think. For example, if once Andy Dalton gets healthy, if they put Andy Dalton back in, I think that indicates a lot of things. I think it indicates a lot of things that they have more time on their hands. So the Bears fans, the city of Chicago won't be happy.
They should keep Fields in. We paid for him.
Yeah. We have we paid for a lot of those quarterbacks. All three of them are getting paid. And Andy Dalton's getting paid $10 million.
I understand Foles. Like, I understand why we went that route. Because that's a guy you can put in that's been proven to get shit done, especially in the fourth quarter. He's like the James Harden of fourth quarters. But, you know, if he's not taking snaps, he's not fresh. He's just a sideline player that practices. To me, I would cut Foles and Dalton right now. I would cut Foles and Dalton, and I'd look for other quarterbacks to staff the team, and I would go with Fields because he's young. And I'm going to be honest, I think it's the first time we've had, at least in my lifetime, a black quarterback.
Yeah.
On the Bears.
Absolutely right.
So, I mean, I think like from a ticket sales standpoint and like a city of Chicago standpoint, he should stay in. I think he's got more natural talent than the other old guys. They're old, washed up. We got a fresh QB, fresh legs, fresh arms. He can scramble. He can throw on the scramble. I mean, it's just the O-line is so piss poor. It's like that scene in Varsity Blues where all the players get drunk and then they come back for the game the next day and they play like crap and they lose.
Yeah.
That's how our O-line plays. Like they're hungover.
Yeah. It's been pretty bad. It's definitely been pretty bad. And I think a combination of that and Matt Nagy's play calling, it doesn't help. It's a recipe for failure every single time.
When you know the pass is failing, why do you keep going pass?
Yeah.
Our run game is solid. Some of the short passes to Montgomery were good. I mean, we know what works. We're not the best team, but we're sure tough. And if we're going to try to beat everybody on skill, we're not going to win.
You're absolutely right. You have to have a good game plan, scheme. Something that Matt Nagy has, I think, failed on many occasions. Something that he's shown us that he cannot do. Unless you're playing a really piss poor team, a really bad team. Maybe like, let's say, Detroit, for example. I'm not looking past them, but
you mean like the Browns?
Like, yeah, this could have been a whole different game if one, offensive line maybe blocked a little bit better, and two, the play calling was better.
Well, it's not just blocking; they're getting blown off the line.
Yeah,
they look out of shape.
Yeah.
Like whoever's training them is doing a crappy job, man. I mean, I've seen a lot of good games in my life. I don't know if I've ever seen 9 sacks.
Yeah.
I mean, what do the Bears average a game? They give up maybe like 1.7.
Yeah.
I mean, this blew the stats wide open.
Yeah, it was Justin Fields. Justin Fields, and quite frankly, even if Andy Dalton was in there today, would have been no chance. No chance for our offense to do anything.
Yeah, and especially if Foles was in there, because he's a guy that needs time in the pocket. He's not fast like or two. He can't throw on the run, scramble, whatever. He's a guy that needs to sit back in the pocket. So all these good teams, all these Super Bowl dynasties, you go back like the Patriots. I mean, even when they didn't win the Super Bowl, they were elite before Tom Brady left.
Right.
And the clutch factor of their team was the O-line.
Yeah.
And they'll probably all tell you the same thing. We won because everybody blocked so well.
Right. Right.
I mean, I remember all the way back to frickin' Lawrence Maroney when I was a kid. Like, I mean, the Patriots have always spent their budget on their O-line.
Yeah.
We always go for these big flash players because I think Chicago, honestly, like I was saying before, is they're like a ticket selling organization.
Yeah.
They want to sell tickets. They want to sell the game out. They want to get back to normal.
Yeah. You're absolutely
It's just
right.
not enough. It's not enough anymore. We need better players on offense, especially that aren't skill players. We need power O-line.
Yeah. Yeah, and in your personal opinion, what's next? What do you need to see from this Bears team? I guess it's still a long season, so what do you need to see?
I don't have high hopes. I need to see a lot of changes. A lot of guys get pulled, traded, whatever. I mean, I don't ever want to see another person on that O-line again, man. I grew up with like Olin Kreutz and Roberto Garza and those guys. They were fixtures of the team. Yep. They were pretty famous for just being O-linemen, man.
And
it's not very common.
Yeah. Yeah, and what do you have to say to, I guess, the Bears fans, including myself, that say fire Matt Nagy now?
Yeah, you're probably right. They're probably right. I understand the sentiment. Even if he does get fired, he's going to wind up at some college team doing something, just like Lovie Smith. And it's the same. It's the same old with the Bears fans.
Yeah.
We are a disappointed fan base.
Right.
It's the same every year.
Disappointed is a great word to use here.
Yeah, every year the same thing. We get disappointed in the Bears just like we put the Christmas tree up.
Yeah. Yeah. And is there anything else you would like to say to the Bears fans on this podcast?
Bear down, Chicago Bears.
Clear the
Put
way
up a fight.
With the might,
Yeah.
so fearlessly. Yeah. That we didn't get to hear that a lot. They obviously weren't at home, but even if we were at home, we didn't score enough points. No.
I'd say keep the chins up. Don't bet on the Bears. Bet against the Bears. If they do come back, it's going to be the defense, or it will be the fact that Fields has finally become a pro and he'll be good at quick passes.
Yeah.
But if he can't throw off quick passes, we're done for because that pressure's coming at him. And I've never seen a quarterback go down that many times ever in my life. Like 9 sacks.
Yeah.
I mean, we did sack. I think we got 7-6 on the defense, but it's just, oh my gosh, man. If the defense could give an offense the ball anymore,
right.
You couldn't ask for a better situation. We gave the offense the ball.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the Bears. The Bears defense gave the Bears offense the ball many, many, many times.
Yep.
And they just couldn't put numbers on the board other than a field goal.
Yep. Stopped the Browns twice on fourth down. Twice. Like, I think it was 2 drives in a row. And
I mean, you even hear the commentators saying if it wasn't for this Bears defense, they wouldn't even be in the game and stuff like just condescending stuff like that. And it's
been like that for 4 years.
It's really sad after we've spent all this money trying to restructure the team, make the team better. It's just they need a leader, man. They need a real leader, and I don't think they're being led.
No, not at all. Not at all. And I think that's why a lot of Bears fans at the moment are saying fire Matt Nagy for sure.
You know, one coach I really respect is Mike Tomlin.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I think he was young when he started. He still looks the same.
Yeah.
I think Bears coaches are just too stressed out.
Yeah.
It's a shit show, man. We gotta deal with all the players, and our salary cap is huge. I'd like to see a ratio of our salary caps versus other teams, winning teams. I'd like to see what we pay our players versus what winning teams pay their players.
Yeah, because we pay a lot of money. Yeah.
If I was in charge, I'd strip everybody's salary. I'd be like, yeah, no, fuck it. You're not performing. Sorry, you could bleep the swear out if you need to. But I just restructuring, and we need you remember that show? What was it, Home Makeover?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need.
Fire sales. You know, get rid of everybody. We're starting fresh. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we need more rookies. We have a lot of veteran players that we're paying too much.
Just say, forget it. We're not going anywhere. Let's start over.
Yeah, I'd start drafting rookies, reorganizing the salary cap, and I would try to hire new talent instead of famous talent.
All right.
But it just goes back to what I said. They're trying to sell tickets.
Yeah.
You know, they can finally have people back at the stadium. That's their main thing right now. If that stadium's not making money, I mean, I'm sure you heard there were plans for them to move to Arlington Heights.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's bad. It's looking bad. It's bleak over there. I mean, like, I'm from Chicago. I went to school downtown and everything. It's not looking good.
No.
I'm pretty sure concerts make more money than the Bears right now at Soldier Field.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Bears don't want. Yeah, I don't know where we're headed, but right now it looks very, very bleak, and I guess we just sit back as Bears fans and I guess support them.
We bear down.
We bear down until the day we die, right? So I appreciate you coming on to the podcast, letting me know your thoughts. This was awesome. I appreciate your time here on KIEQ on the Mic.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and you have a good one, brother, and bear down like always.
All right, you too. God bless.
You too.
You ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic. You can go and subscribe, cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't KIEQ on the mic.
This year, I'm betting the football season with MyBookie. When betting with MyBookie, you'll receive a 100% match on your very first deposit up to $1,000.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm.
Betting with MyBookie this season was the obvious choice for me because every time this happens,
Touchdown Bears!
or this happens,
80-yard touchdown run!
I win. The best part about this whole thing is that you can support the show by using the promo code KOTM. So Bears fans, what are you waiting for? Go to mybookie.ag, use my promo code KOTM, and receive a 100% match on your first deposit up to $1,000 and make it a winning season with MyBookie today.